Former President Donald Trump was back on the campaign trail last night after almost 2 weeks of no public appearances. And with just days to go until the Republican National Convention, he issued a new challenge to the president.
They want Crooked Joe out of the race. It's a shame the way they're treating him. But don't feel sorry for him. He's a very bad guy. So tonight I'm officially offering Joe the chance to redeem himself in front of the entire world. Let's do another debate this week so that Sleepy Joe Biden can prove to everyone all over the world that he has what it takes to be president. But this time it will be man to man, no moderators, no holes barred.
All right, CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi is joining us now to talk a little bit more about this. All right, he challenged President Biden to a debate this week, mano a mano, back to kind of the wrestling kind of talk, I guess. Also talked about maybe the two of them meeting on the golf course. What can you tell us about this speech? Give us the highlights.
Yeah, Anne-Marie, it was a pair of challenges that Donald Trump posed to President Biden last night, and you heard the first one there, the first one being another debate between the two of them. Now, that debate would come, you know, he said we should do it in the next week with a new set of rules. Trump said that it would be 1v1, just the two of us, no moderators, and, you know, Trump is challenging President Biden and saying name the time, the place, anywhere we can do it with the purpose of proving that President Biden is up for the task of debating him again and continuing this campaign. But the second challenge was a little bit more personal. This was about golf, and this came after the two of them had sparred on the debate stage about golf handicaps. Yeah, that's right. Golf handicaps, the two of them sparred about during the presidential debate. So Trump proposed that him and President Biden meet on one of his golf courses, including the one where we were last night in Doral, and have an 18-hole golf match. Trump even proposed that President Biden would have a 20-stroke advantage, which is unheard of, and that the winner, well, if, you know, President Biden prevailed, that former President Trump would donate $1 million to the charity of Biden's choosing. So a little interesting there to hear about a golf match, but obviously this is all coming as former President Trump is getting back on the campaign trail after a few days of being quiet, of being up in Bedminster, as all of this turmoil that you just heard about from Nicole Killian has been unfolding in the Democratic Party. So a little bit of a strategic play there on the Greens yesterday from former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, none of that tells us what the next 4 years could possibly be like if he was to be president again. Another thing we don't know is who his running mate is going to be. We know that Marco Rubio joined Trump last night on stage, but he didn't really give any hints. You know, what's he waiting for?
You know, I suspect that they are waiting for the RNC. You know, we are hearing a little bit more from the Trump campaign that they want to, you know, perhaps let this turmoil that's going on with the Democrats play out a little bit further. Yesterday, there was a moment during the rally that we thought maybe Donald Trump might be announcing that Rubio is his running mate. He even teased to him saying, Senator Rubio, look at all of the press that's here. They perhaps think that I'm going to announce you as my running mate. So teasing him there, you know, teasing this out further, that's typically par for the course, pardon the pun, with Donald Trump to really play this up, gin this up, make people interested in something so high stakes like a vice presidential choice. So I suspect in the coming days we might hear a little bit more about who he's thinking. We know two other contenders beyond Rubio include Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and of course Trump is holding a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday, just about an hour away from the Ohio border. So I will be there, and I will have my eyes peeled for any more presidential or vice presidential candidates, rather, that could be coming through.
Olivia, thank you.